I'm Dr. William Lee, vascular biologist, cancer researcher, and author, and I've spent over 25 years studying what actually prevents cancer at the cellular level. And what I found, confirmed by a landmark 2022 study from Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health, following over 116,000 adults for 28 years, is that one specific category of daily habits reduces overall cancer risk by up to 61% in adults over 50. 61%. That's not a supplement. That's not chemotherapy. That's lifestyle. And today I'm going to break down the 5 most powerful components of that habit, ranked from helpful to absolutely transformational. Number 1 on this list is something 90% of people over 60 are doing completely wrong, and the science suggests that fixing it could cut your cancer risk nearly in half on its own. Each habit builds on the last. Now let's get into it, starting at number 5. Number 5 is something almost everyone dismisses as too simple to be serious, and that dismissal may be costing people their lives. I'm talking about cold water hydration, specifically drinking 16 to 20 ounces of cold or room temperature filtered water first thing in the morning, before coffee, before food, before you look at your phone. Number 4 is a food that has been eaten for thousands of years across the world's longest living populations, dismissed for decades by Western medicine, and is now the subject of over 1,200 peer-reviewed studies on cancer prevention. I'm talking about fermented foods, specifically naturally fermented options like plain yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, and miso. In 2021, a groundbreaking study from Stanford University School of Medicine, published in the journal Cell, found that adults who consumed high-fiber, high-fermented food diets showed dramatically increased microbiome diversity and a measurable decrease in 19 specific inflammatory proteins, several of which are directly associated with cancer progression. Now, number three is something you've almost certainly heard of. I'm talking about daily walking, but not just any walking. I'm talking about something researchers now call metabolic walking. A 2020 meta-analysis from the American Cancer Society reviewed data from 1.4 million adults and found that regular moderate physical activity was associated with a 42% reduction in colon cancer risk, a 38% reduction in breast cancer risk, and a 27% reduction in lung cancer risk, even in non-smokers. But here's where the aging-specific biology becomes critical. After the age of 65, your mitochondria, the tiny power generators inside your cells, decline in both number and efficiency by up to 35%. Mitochondrial dysfunction is now understood to be a key driver of both aging and cancer progression. Metabolic walking means 30 to 45 minutes of continuous walking at a pace where you can still hold a conversation but would find it slightly difficult to sing. This needs to happen at least 5 days per week, and ideally in the morning before your first full meal, because fasted movement amplifies the glucose depleting effect significantly. Number 2 is a compound, actually a family of compounds found in a very specific category of vegetables. And the research on their cancer-fighting mechanism in adults over 50 is some of the most compelling science I've encountered in 25 years of research. I'm talking about sulforaphane, the powerful bioactive compound found in cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, and most potently, broccoli sprouts. Here is why this matters so profoundly for aging biology. In 2018, researchers at Johns Hopkins University, where much of the foundational sulforaphane research was done, published findings showing that sulforaphane activates a master genetic switch called NRF2. Think of NRF2 like the head of security for your DNA. When activated, it triggers over 200 protective genes, simultaneously genes involved in detoxification, antioxidant defense, and critically, the repair of damaged DNA before it can mutate into cancer. And here's the aging-specific tragedy that makes this so urgent. NRF2 activity declines by approximately 40% between the ages of 50 and 70. Your DNA repair system is quietly shutting down. Sulforaphane essentially wakes it back up. A landmark study from the University of Illinois found that regular consumption of sulforaphane-rich foods was associated with a 52% reduction in bladder cancer risk, a 41% reduction in prostate cancer incidence, and significant reductions in breast and lung cancer markers. And perhaps most remarkably, a study from the Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center found that sulforaphane actually targets cancer stem cells, the particularly dangerous cells that conventional chemotherapy often fails to eliminate and that are responsible for cancer recurrence. Think of cancer stem cells as the generals of an army. You can wipe out the soldiers, but if the generals survive, they'll rebuild. Sulforaphane goes after the generals. Now here's the preparation detail that most people get completely wrong. Sulforaphane isn't actually present in broccoli in its active form. It's created through a chemical reaction when you chew or chop the vegetable, activating an enzyme called myrosinase. But here's the critical issue: cooking above 140 degrees Fahrenheit destroys myrosinase, which means fully cooked broccoli delivers very little active sulforaphane. The optimal preparation method is to chop or lightly crush your broccoli or sprouts and let it sit for 40 minutes before consuming or lightly steaming. This allows the myrosinase reaction to complete. Then steam for no more than 3 to 4 minutes. Raw broccoli sprouts require no cooking and deliver up to 50 times more sulforaphane per gram than mature broccoli florets. Aim for half a cup of raw broccoli sprouts daily or 1 full cup of lightly prepared broccoli. Your synergy tip here is crucial: pair your cruciferous vegetables with a small amount of raw mustard seed powder or raw radish. Both are independently rich in active myrosinase, and adding them to cooked cruciferous vegetables effectively restores the enzyme activity that cooking destroyed, increasing sulforaphane bioavailability by up to 4-fold, according to research from the Institute of Food Research in Norwich. This is number 2, and it is powerful. Number 1 is sleep. But not just sleep specifically, what researchers now call oncological sleep architecture, meaning the specific quality and timing of sleep that activates your body's most powerful anti-cancer system. During deep, slow-wave sleep stage 3 and stage 4, your brain activates the glymphatic system. This is a recently discovered waste clearance network, first described by researchers at the University of Rochester in 2013, that uses cerebrospinal fluid to literally flush toxic proteins and cellular debris from your brain and nervous system. Think of it like a power wash cycle that only runs at night when the factory is closed, but the cancer connection goes far deeper than brain health. During the same deep sleep phases, your body produces its highest concentrations of melatonin, not just the sleep hormone, but one of the most powerful endogenous antioxidants known to science. Here's what I want you to hear as we close. You are not too old for prevention. The science does not have an age limit. Whether you are 55 or 85, whether you've had a cancer scare or never given it a thought, your body retains a remarkable capacity to heal, to defend, and to regenerate when you give it what it needs.